Namaste, everybody. We are now in the 20th part of the Mahabharata series, in which we are going to discuss whether an asteroid impacted Mohenjo Daro. This question comes because earlier we have seen that the fragments of an asteroid had fallen on east flowing rivers of North India, by which the flow of the water had been reversed towards west. And then Sindhu also was included. The river Sindhu was also mentioned by Vyasa. So we were looking at the Sindhu River because specifically only that river has been mentioned. So here we are able to see that there are many east to west flowing curves of Indus. And in one of those regions only, Mohenjo Daro is placed. This is the map of the Mohenjo Daro, where this is the very popularly known Great Bath area, and this area is known as Lower Town, not much known. And further going into the details, just to find out whether asteroid fragments have fallen on Mohenjo Daro, we are looking for the evidence here. The evidence is there, that is, in the lower town, in the 1900s, some 44 skeletons have been found under the ground. That is, it was a mound, like a huge mound, where the late Harappan settlements have come up. When they started digging underneath, they could see skeletons in contorted positions, as though they have been suddenly fallen dead. They have suddenly fallen dead. For example, this is a well room. This is place is known as well room in the lower town itself, where you can see the bodies of two persons. It's not actually in the proper skeletal form, as though it had decayed over time. It was as though they have been struck by something and then they have died in a very contorted position. The body position are very strange, looking strange. And seeing these skeletons, a wheeler who was working on that in 1946 said, this must have been the evidence for the Aryan invasion theory. The Aryans have massacred these people, the local people. And then this debate has been going on for long, but our further evidence shows it is not so. It is not so. And there are actually 4 places affected. The skeletons are found in 4 places. This map has been created by Mr. Brian Hemphill, who has written an article on this. He has analyzed the skeletons, the cranial position or craniometric measurement of the skeletons, and then he has come to some derivations, and he has produced this map showing that in the lower town, I can show you the lower town map also. Right from north to south, this is aligned to north to south, east west this way. From north to south, 4 places have received one after the other, as though in a very straight line. How could that happen? How could that kind of some calamity has happened in 4 places, one below the other? How that could have happened? That he had not analyzed. But what he has analyzed is who were those people. He said those people were from outside. They were squatter population. He calls them a squatter population. That is, a people who have come to Mohenjo Daro to work. They were not the locals, and they were not the victims of any invasion. They have died under some kind of calamity or some distress. That's what he has found out. And the date has not yet been finalized by them. So what he found was this: the people being outsiders, they were not cremated by the local people. That area had been abandoned, either due to abandonment or due to just closing this area with mud or debris. A mound has developed in that area. Because of that only, this place came to be known as Mohenjo Daro, which means Mound of the Dead in the local language. So the Mound of the Dead is in the lower town, caused by some kind of calamity that Brian Henkel shows one below the other. So further researches also have been done by others who just went there, and then so what made them die? And they found that there was some radioactive element there. Some kind of missile or radioactive thing had attacked them. There is an epicenter of that attack area also. That is, David Davenport had found out that. And there is another one Gorbowski, who said that radiation is such that it was almost equal to what is seen in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So at that time, this happened some 2 decades ago. These things were found out, and people started connecting this with the Mahabharata war, saying in the Mahabharata war, people have used nuclear weapons, and one of those weapons would have fallen, but it's not so. They didn't use any nuclear weapons, but this kind of a nuclear fallout or a kind of attack by a nuclear weapon could be seen in the case of meteor or asteroid falls. We have several evidences. I am showing here two evidence, one from Chelyabinsk meteor event in 2013 and another from Tunguska event in 1908, where a meteor that had fallen in a place had just what shall I say, damage to that place beyond recognition, and also it has created a part of it has resulted in radioactive elements being just detected there. The soil samples also have the radioactive elements. So the same thing has happened in the lower town. That's what we are finding. Only within this area, that thing has been that is it. The impact has been seen. Whereas the original, that is what you see as the Great Bath or the great monuments of Mohenjo Daro, they are all remaining intact. And this has come up in the mature phase, that is around 2500 BCE, and it has remained unaffected. This one has been affected. Suppose this radioactive attack had happened after this Great Bath had come up, some kind of fallout would have been felt here also, but it's not so. So this must have been the oldest one. At that time, this did not come up at all. That is, this Great Bath had not come up at all. So this was the oldest one, and then remained as a Mount of the Dead for a long time. People didn't go near that. Must have been earlier, and this needs to be revisited by archaeologists to ascertain the date, whether it syncs with our Mahabharata date, because according to our theory, there was a fragment, that is asteroid effect impact on this region as per Mahabharata. And on one of the skeletons, this Varaha symbol has been found. See, the Varaha is nowadays very popularly known. Everybody knows that Harappan Mohenjo Daro symbol is the Varaha symbol. You find a lot of signs and then seals. And this was that person was having on his chest. It was seen on the chest of the person. That means it was the Brian Henfel's theory is also this. That is, it was a workshop area where people from outside have come and worked. They were given an identity code. Like the identity was the Varaha symbol. So this identity of that is Varaha is a symbol of Jayadratha at that time. Jayadratha was the king of the Sindhu region, under whom 10 countries were there. And then he was a son-in-law of Dhritharashtra. And so this area was under Jayadratha himself. That is, this is during Mahabharata period. Please remember that. And this Varaha symbol from then onwards is continuously being in use in the Harappan period also. So this belonged to the Mahabharata period, and the date of that impact also can be found out from Krishna's travel on that day. That was Kartika Shukla Dwadasi in Revati Nakshatra, and the corresponding date was August 25th, 3136 BCE. So with this, we are coming to the conclusion of the 20th part, and we will see in the next part what happened further, whether this kind of impact was seen in other places also as Krishna went forward. And with this, we are coming to the conclusion of this part, and then thank you very much. Please share this with your friends widely.